Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming a book haul. This is a collective book haul. I've got all of these books over the last few months, and I just filmed a physical TBR video. I don't know which of these is going up first, but if you've watched that, then you definitely know that your girl does not need to go book shopping anymore. So I think I'm taking a little break from buying any books until probably fall time. We have 30 books sitting here to show you guys. Definitely just another reason for me to not need to go book shopping again. I'm gonna show these at the same time because they're by the same author, and that is What Happens After Midnight and The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I have already read What Happens After Midnight and I really liked it. I ended up giving it a 4.5 stars. I read it in a video, so if you're interested in seeing my full thoughts, then definitely check that out. I just heard that she puts a lot of Taylor Swift references in her books, and that sold me, honestly, because I love anything Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift and books, sign me up. So I am really excited to get into The Summer of Broken Rules. I do want to read it before summer is over. And then I purchased the Naturals series. I didn't get all of them at the same time, but over time I have bought all of them. I did buy the third one. This is the fourth one. There is a third one, but Amazon damaged the book so bad that I had to return it, and they're sending a new copy. So I do have all 4 of them, but right now I only have 3. And I have read the Naturals, and I'm currently reading Killer Instinct. I'm really loving this series. I highly recommend it if you like young adult mysteries. It's a series about these kids that are naturals. They all have different like skills. So the main character, Cassie, her skill is she's a natural at reading people. And then there's Dean, who is also a profiler. That's the term for her and Dean. They're profilers. Then there's Michael, who can read emotions really well. Leah, who is a compulsive liar but can also tell when anybody is lying about anything. And then Sloane, who just like a numbers genius. She just knows every fact about everything. She's my favorite character. But it is super fun. There's just a bunch of mystery aspects in it, and it's super fast-paced, super easy to read. So I definitely am loving it. I totally recommend reading this series. Then we have The Roommate by Rosie Danan. Every time I go to Barnes & Noble, I want to pick this up, and I always look at it and then I put it back down. At one point I just decided that I should probably get it because I pick it up every time. There's no logic there. It's just me making up an excuse to buy a book. When Clara's childhood crush invites her to move across the country, the offer is too tempting to resist. Unfortunately, it's also too good to be true. After a bait and switch, Clara finds herself sharing a lease with a charming stranger. Oh, okay. So that sounds pretty interesting. It's just literally like just a short little romance. Then I have Mile High by Liz Tomford. I bought this quite a while ago because everyone was raving about it, and people still do. People, I feel like, talk more about the second one, which is called The Right Move. I really need to get into this. I just am so intimidated by romances that are like over 500 pages. Okay, fine, this isn't over 500 pages. It's 474 pages, but still. I just get so intimidated because I'm like, why does it need to be that long? You know what I mean? Xander's, why is there an S at the end of it? Whatever. Xander's is a hockey player and Stevie is a flight attendant. I love the name Stevie. And then I have My Dark Romeo. I bought this because I think it was Sarah Caroli that talked about it, and she just seemed to like it, and I also love the cover. It's just giving like ancient Rome, ancient Greece. I don't know what I'm even talking about for real. Some Romeos deserve to die. Oh wow. It was supposed to be a harmless kiss at a lavish debutante ball. A clandestine, okay, what are these big words? A clandestine moment with a handsome stranger. But unlike his namesake, my Romeo isn't driven by love. He's fueled by revenge. To him, I'm a chess piece, leverage, his rival's betrothed. To me, he is a man deserving of poison, a dark prince I refuse to marry. He thinks I'll accept my fate while I plan to rewrite it. And in my story, Juliet doesn't die. But Romeo, he perishes. Wow. You look like a slut. That's what I just read, so sounds good. And then I picked up Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. You've probably seen me talk about this a billion trillion times, yet I still haven't read it. And that's because I picked it up so many times, but I've heard so many mixed reviews that I'm nervous, because some people are like, wow, this was so cute, and then some people are like, wow, this was ass. When in Rome was so much better. This is about the MMC and When in Rome's sister. This is her book, and I really liked her character. And then I purchased the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. I didn't get all of these at the same time. I actually got this one first, read it, and then I really liked it, so I bought the last two. And I still need to read this one specifically so that I can watch the second season. I do feel like the show isn't at all related to the books. Like, it is, but the books are not like the show at all. Like, the plot is very different. So that kind of threw me for a loop, but I do really like the books as well. They're definitely just really easy, fast YA romance novels. Back when we were still changing for the better. Then we have Keeping 13. I bought this while I was in the middle of reading Binding 13. I haven't picked it up yet. I know you're probably like, girl, how did you not just go right into Keeping 13 so you could find out what happens? Because if you've read Binding 13, you know that the end is a huge cliffhanger, and this literally starts right where that one ends. I really don't know, honestly, but I do need to start it. It's just like the font, like, why is it so small? I have to read it on my Kindle at that point, but I'm like, this one is bigger than Binding 13 too, and it's just a lot, okay? There is a lot of commitment to be put into a fat ass book like this. On the plane to Hawaii, I read Flawless, and I absolutely loved it, so I ended up purchasing the rest of the series. I love the Chestnut Springs series. It is so good. It's just a small town, cowboy, country, romance, and I'm not a country girly. I'm from Kentucky. I've been around this shit my whole life. I literally grew up with a cow farm down the street from my house. Like, these, they make me want a cowboy boyfriend. Like, what in the world? I have read Heartless. I did read it this month, so if you want to see my feelings, be on the lookout for the wrap-up. I have not read these two yet, but I really can't wait to get into them, especially Reckless, because people have said such good things about it, and I'm so excited. Where's my coffee? Wanting was enough. I can go anywhere I want. Then I have Pineapple Street. I did a book shopping video a couple of videos ago, and I bought quite a few books. This was one of them. I love the cover. It is gorgeous. It's just like a literary fiction about two women and them just trying to figure shit out, and people have really liked it, so I've been wanting to pick it up, and I actually finally did. Then we have Made in Manhattan. I picked this up at Half Price Books. Every time I see it, I want to pick it up because the cover is just so cute. It's very short. It's just like a short little romance about this girl named Violet who was raised in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and then a friend of her grandmother's asks Violet to teach her grandson how to fit in with the city because he's from rural Louisiana. So it's just like a country boy trying to fit into the city life, and a girl trying to teach him how to fit into the city life. And I can't remember who I saw talk about this, but somebody talked about it and they said it was really good, and I was like, oh my gosh, I see that at Half Price Books all the time. So when I saw it again, I ended up getting it. Then I have the Sunbearer Trials. I saw Olivia Reads a Latte read this quite a while ago, and I've been interested in it. I'm just not the biggest fan of hard covers. I don't have an issue with them, but I'd rather wait for a book to come out in a paperback because hardcovers are more expensive. But I went to Books A Million, and they had a bunch of books that were $5 or $6, and they had this one, and so I ended up picking it up because it was only like $5 or $6. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's like a fantasy about like the gods. And then I have One for My Enemy by Olive Blake. People were saying that this is a modern day Romeo and Juliet retelling, and that immediately caught my attention. That's literally why I bought it. I love Romeo and Juliet, and a modern day retelling, that is so much fun. This is her newest release, and I'm very excited to get into it. Fantasy is just more of a fall and winter kind of read for me, so it is hard for me to get into it when it's warm out because I'm just like, I just want fun, easy summer romance. I also have The Atlas 6 by Olive Blake. This is the original cover. This is the ARC cover. So when she sent out her ARCs, this was the cover. So some of the stuff inside is different. There's like drawings and stuff. I don't know if there's drawings and stuff in the other version. I saw this at Half Price Books and it was a whole thing because I seen this cover and I absolutely love this cover. I don't know what it is, but this cover is so much prettier to me than the cover that is out for sale everywhere. And I was like, I'm going to find the OG cover at Half Price Books. I don't care how long it takes, I will find it. And I eventually did. So I spoke it into existence. Then I have Laziness Does Not Exist. I got this because Allison Pages read it and she said she really liked it and it was really good. It just kind of teaches you about how lazy is just a word and it's just kind of here to make us feel like we have to be going all the time. That caught my attention because I'm a firm believer in rest and relaxation. Being lazy, I don't think it exists. So Devin Price has written some really good books, so I definitely recommend checking him out. And then I have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I went to Barnes & Noble and they had this cover. This must be the new cover. I think she's redoing every single cover of her books because all of them are taken off of Amazon now. I saw this one there and this is a book that was on my wish list, but this is the new cover, so I decided to pick it up because it was on the buy one get one 50% off table and people love Mariana Zapata, so I'm really excited to get into this one eventually. I also have another book by her, From Lukov with Love. I have that one too. I haven't read it yet, but she writes thick romance books. All of her romance books are huge. Then I have Meet Me by the Lake. Wait. Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. She wrote Every Summer After, which I haven't read because I've heard that it's very similar to Love in Other Words, and I absolutely love Love in Other Words. So I don't know if I could read it because I feel like I would just be comparing the two. But this is her newest release, and why is this literally the plot of November 9? Like, this is literally the plot of November 9. Okay, I'm just getting the vibe that we can't make up our own ideas. Anyway, and then I have The Selection. This is another book that I picked up at Half Price Books because they always have the whole series and it's super cheap. And I've been wanting to get into it. It's just like a YA fantasy series, but it's like princesses. The main character's name is America and she enters a competition for a crown. That's really all I know, but I'd be surprised if you haven't heard of this. So many people read it when they were younger and loved it. Sometimes we just love quick and easy little fantasy books like this because most fantasy books are thick. Then I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is the edition with like the special pages. I don't know what you call these kind of pages. It is just so satisfying to me. These kind of pages are so satisfying. This is like the special, I don't know what kind, it's like a very floppy like paper cover, but there's like, I don't know. It's just like a special edition kind of, but it was on sale at Barnes one time and I'd been waiting for the paperback of this book to come out, so I got it and I'm hoping to read this sometime during the fall because it gives very much fall, you know what I mean? Jana Goes Wild. I saw this book quite a long time ago and I read it, or I read the back of it and was like, oh, that's interesting, but I didn't pick it up. And I'd been thinking about it, like, I don't know why, but Jana is the main character and she is a bridesmaid for a destination wedding that is in a national park, which is like, I'm guessing some kind of safari national park because there's elephants and giraffes on the front of it. So it's a single parent romance. It also looks like it's a second chance. Her ex, Anil, comes to the wedding as well. A second chance romance. So that's cute. And the cover is just so cute. I absolutely love it. So I'm super excited to get into this. And then I have Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This is another book that I picked up not too long ago. And it is a nonfiction. She is a survivor. If you know Chanel Miller, you can look this up and you'll probably know her story. You've probably heard of it. This is just her memoir basically, and I've been really interested in reading it. I don't know when I'll get to it because it's definitely going to be a heavy book to read. We have 3 books left, guys. I've got Legends and Lattes. I picked this up specifically for the fall time because duh, it's giving very much fall. I'm pretty sure it's literally just a little fantasy about this girl who opens a coffee shop in a fantasy world. I don't really know what else it's about, but we love that. We love to hear it. So then I have Red Rising. I picked this up specifically because of Haley Pham. She has raved about this series and everyone's been reading it lately, so I wanted to hop on the train. It is fairly short for a fantasy book. It's like a dystopian kind of fantasy and I love those, so I'm really excited to get into this as well. And then the last book that I have to show you guys is none other than Billy Summers by Stephen King. This is another newer book that I've grabbed and another book that was recommended by Haley. Love Miss Haley, but I've never read a Stephen King book and I'm not the biggest fan of horror, so I feel like Billy Summers is perfect for me to go into because it's more of a thriller mystery. So yeah, those are all the books that I have to show you today. Hopefully I can stay true to my word and not buy any more books until September, October time. Let's see how well I do, and I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.